Is there something significant that you want to do, but you believe that the time has passed? It's too late. What if you could take what feels like a 40-year detour and turn it into your single greatest advantage? How does it sound? My name is Joyce Li. I did just that. At 66, I just graduated from my PhD in a subject that I really love. However, I have to put that on hold for decades. This is how your detour has secretly preparing you to succeed in ways that you couldn't imagine in your 20s. When I was 19, I made a practical choice because I needed to support my family. Well, at that time, I chose a fast-track business degree over the subjects that I really want to learn more about. You see, when I enter university, my favorite subjects are psychology, music, and English literature. I got A's in all my electives. I even took extra, but I barely passed my major subjects. Well, for accounting, 4A and 4B, I got C minus. Almost had to retake those courses in order to graduate. Well, I remember before I need to decide on my major, I spoke to many recent graduates and I asked them, which program get you out of university the quickest? And they told me, oh, BCom, that's the Bachelor of Commerce degree. So that's what I did. I attended compressed courses during summer and winter breaks, and I completed my degree in just 2 years and 4 months. It was a choice I never regretted because that allowed me to go back to Hong Kong right away and started working, and that helped my father financially. But that dream, the quiet whisper of psychology, the curiosity of what shapes human behaviors, never left me. For over 40 years, it persisted. The most profound lesson that I learned from that detour is this. The real reward wasn't the diploma or the paycheck. It was the cumulative wisdom gathered during all those years of waiting, working, and holding on that dream. The journey itself is the treasure. For those of you who have read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, you know it is not about the destination for San Diego's pilgrimage. And I realized I am the protagonist in my story. What did I learn during that long cycle? It seems like I'm going around and then really find the treasure when I go back where I started. I learned that it is your biggest dream about living your personal legend. It is always worth pursuing. For you, that dream may be a career change to a more meaningful field, traveling the world, or simply finding inner peace. Whatever it is, you have something unique to offer to the world. Don't give up. When I finally started my PhD, I had a revelation. Those years wasn't a pause button on my dream. They were actually the training ground. While managing teams, understanding budgets, organizing projects, navigating life, raising children, and that was a master class in human relationships, the very subject of my degree. My detour was the most valuable research I could have done. Let's talk about how to turn all those years of experiences and wisdom and turn it into an advantage for you. Well, remember that shift isn't automatic. It is a choice. You must choose to see your experience not as lost time, but as earned wisdom. When I stepped into the classroom, I wasn't a blank slate. I was a seasoned expert with a lifetime of data. I had context, I built resilience, and I gained clarity about what truly matters. Your detour has given you the same unique, irreplaceable perspective. Wherever you are, this is the advantage that you now hold. I'm going to talk about the 4 parts of your advantage. During my convocation ceremony, I listened to all those speeches. 4 key messages stood out. They deeply resonated with me. They put words into the very toolkit my 40-year journey had built. Let me share those messages at the advantage each one represents for you. Key message 1. Education is more than gaining knowledge. It changes who we are through the learning process. It shapes our mindsets, our worldview, and our capacity to make a difference. Through my PhD journey, I learned what it truly means to listen with curiosity rather than jumping to judgment. Curiosity caused me to pause before jumping to conclusions. I learned to sift through nuanced data and weave them into meaningful insights. I learned to respect the process, to trust each step, and to practice patience. I saw the generosity of people firsthand, like my research participants, 9 of them, who freely give their time and insights and stories to advance the cause that matter. They believe in what I'm doing, and that's why they sign up. We're in contact still to this day after the research is completed. And perhaps most importantly, I learned that with hard work, commitment, and faith in the process, even what once seemed impossible can be achieved. Now, let's turn that into your wisdom advantage. You don't just collect information, you integrate it. You connect theories to real-life scars and triumphs you live through. This means that your understanding isn't just academic, it is deep, meaningful, and wise. You know how to learn in ways a 20-year-old simply cannot. You have the ability to make connections to everything that is in your right hemisphere, left hemisphere of your brain. And that is powerful. Key message number 2. Change doesn't always happen in a big bang. It often slowly, quietly, through small, consistent drops of effort. Yet those ripples, when shared across people, teams, and communities, can create lasting transformation. I see my work in promoting minimalist mindset as a grassroots movement. This means keeping the message simple, relatable, and accessible, reaching people, one person, one community at a time. As more people embrace these values, the message spreads. Together, we can turn unconventional practices into mainstream and create meaningful, large-scale impact. Even if one person is doing it, it may seem minuscule. However, imagine the ripple that one person can start create. And that's what I believe in. Now, your advantage is the patience advantage. You have already spent decades building, whether it's a career, deep relationships, a unique skill set, a home, or simply a life you're navigating with intention. You understand the power of small, consistent steps because great things take time. Like making a stew. The 10-minute stew, how does it taste compared to a slow cook roast beef? This isn't hopeful theory. It is your lived experience. And it is your greatest advantage. Key message number 3. Life is hard, and resilience matters. What defines us is not how many times we fall. It's how we learn to rise from each setback, becoming stronger and wiser each time. Throughout my journey, I have faced obstacles and disappointments. And you can hear about my stories, about my book, about my singing career that never took off, and about my immigration journey. Well, instead of ruminating on the errors, faults, or sticking with the regrets, I've learned to search for the lessons within those challenges. What is within my control? How can I do things differently next time? What can I improve and how can I improve? And perhaps most importantly, how may I continue to shape my character toward greater maturity and wisdom? It is very difficult to face yourself and look at your character flaw. There are certain parts of my personality could be shaped from traumas in the past, but there's no excuse. That shouldn't be what is holding me back, or that shouldn't be the excuse that I am blunt or I am rude to people. Now, your advantage is the resilience advantage. You've been tested. You've come back up. You've learned that failure isn't your identity. It is a feedback loop. This is not theoretical positivity. It is muscles you spend decades strengthening. Well, show me your resilience muscles. You know how to pull yourself back up after each fall, and that is superpower. I must tell you, I learned from a 94-year-old mother. Each time I visit her in her long-term care home, I would hear about her recent falls. Every time she fell, she would complain about the aches and pains. However, most times she recovered, and then she started to walk again. And that is amazing. Even a 94-year-old can rise up through the fall. So can we. Key message number 4, our foundation is love. An Indigenous leader and scholar and professor, Dr. Darren Thomas, moved me deeply through his speech. He spoke in Indigenous language, but he summarized it for us. He reminded us that when the Haudenosaunee people first met the settlers, they showed them love rather than fighting with them. Our nation is built on love. His message reminded me that even in times of unprecedented challenge and divisions, love remains the cornerstone and foundation for our way forward. What a powerful truth in an age where mistrust, misinformation, greed, and indifference often prevail. In my own faith tradition, love one another as God loves us is a given. Yet, while we often speak of love, living out love in action, especially amid conflict on both small and big scales, feels like one of those hardest things to put in practice. Turn love into your purpose advantage. You are not chasing a dream for a trophy or external validation. You are pursuing it for meaning, for connection, for love. You know your why. That purpose is the most powerful and enduring force there is to keep you going. Let's recap those 4 key messages that I've learned. Education is more than gaining knowledge. Change doesn't always come in a big bang. Life is hard and resilience matters. Our foundation is love, and that turns into the 4 advantages that we have: wisdom, patience, resilience, and purpose. The question is, how do I turn my 10-year, 20-year, 30-year, or 40-year detour into my greatest advantage? You start by recognizing that the toolkit is already in your hands. Yes. I now want to hear from you in the comments about the one piece of wisdom or experience from your journey that now you see as a potential advantage. Share with us. Until next time, let's reframe our stories together, one nugget at a time. If you know someone who needs to see their life this way, do me a favor, share this video with them so that they can start leaning on their wisdom advantage.